It's 6 a.m. You just woke up and the first thing you do before you even brush your teeth is grab your phone. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You see the post about your coworker enjoying a weekend in Napa Valley, the cousin who just got promoted, the neighbor with the shiny new Tesla in the driveway. And then that familiar feeling hits you, that heaviness, that voice whispering, everyone else is doing better than me. You're not alone. 70% of American millennials report social anxiety related to constant comparison. We carry around an invisible backpack full of other people's expectations, from parents who wanted you to be a doctor, from friends who expect you to always be on, from strangers on the internet who judge every photo you post. Remember, when we were kids and our biggest worry was whether Tommy at school would like our new sneakers. Now it's that, but multiplied by 1,000,000. Every decision we make goes through the filter of, what will they think? We choose careers we don't love, relationships that don't fulfill us, even the color of our living room walls based on what looks good on Instagram. The truth is that we have turned our lives into a constant performance, as if we were actors in a show that never ends, always worried about the audience, always adjusting our performance based on the reactions of others. And it is exhausting. But what if I told you that there is a way to get that backpack off your back, that it is possible to live without this constant pressure, without this need for approval that keeps us awake at dawn, mulling over every word we say in a conversation? The secret is not to become insensitive or arrogant. It's to understand something most people never realize about how our minds really work. To understand why we care so much about what other people think, we need to go back in time, way back. Our ancestors lived in small tribes where the approval of the group literally meant the difference between life and death. If you were rejected by the tribe, you died alone in the jungle. This survival mechanism is still hardwired into our brains. When someone criticizes us at work, or when we post a photo and it doesn't get any likes, our reptilian brains trigger the same alarm that it did when our ancestors were about to be kicked out of the tribe. To their primitive minds, social rejection still means death. But here's the problem. Your brain didn't evolve to deal with the modern world. It can't distinguish between genuine disapproval from important people in your life and a random comment from a stranger on Twitter. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. We think we're the main character in everyone else's movie. Kind of like when Jim from the office thinks everyone in the office is paying attention to his every move, when in reality, everyone is focused on their own problems. Here's a thought experiment. When was the last time you spent 5 straight minutes harshly judging a stranger? Probably never. You're too busy with your own life, your own challenges, your own insecurities. The same thing happens with other people. They are so preoccupied with their own lives that they simply don't have the time or mental energy to analyze your every move. Studies show that people forget embarrassments from others in less than 48 hours. That time you tripped in front of everyone, they've already forgotten about it. But you're still stewing over it. The reality is that you are wasting precious mental energy worrying about people who aren't even thinking about you. Let's see how this plays out in real life. You're in a business meeting and you have an idea, but you don't say it because you think, what if they think it's stupid? So you keep quiet, and 10 minutes later someone says the exact same thing and everyone thinks it's brilliant. Or you're at the grocery store and you see someone you know in the cereal aisle. Instead of saying hello naturally, you start thinking, will he think it's weird if I say hi? I'd better pretend I didn't see him. The result, you spend 5 minutes hiding behind the Cheerios. At happy hour after work, you want to leave early because you're tired, but you stay late because you don't want people to think you're antisocial. You come home exhausted, angry at yourself for not having the courage to just say, guys, I'm going. On social media, it's even worse. You delete and rewrite the same post 3 times, tweaking every word to sound smarter or less controversial. You post a photo and compulsively check the likes. If you don't get the expected amount within an hour, you consider deleting it. Even in the simplest situations, like choosing what to wear, you think, will people think this shirt is too formal, too casual, too me? This kind of mental paralysis happens dozens of times a day. Small decisions that should take seconds become existential dilemmas because we are always trying to guess what others expect of us. The irony is that while you're spending all that mental energy trying to please everyone else, you're betraying the only person who really matters, yourself. You're living the life you imagine others want you to live, not the life you really want to live. But it doesn't have to be that way. There is a different way to navigate the world. The first technique that changes everything is what I call the Board of Directors test. Imagine that you are the CEO of your own life. Every CEO has a board of directors, a small group of people whose opinions really matter to the company's strategic decisions. In your life, who is on your board of directors? Maybe it's 5 people, your parents, your partner, your best friend, a mentor. When you receive criticism or judgment, ask, is this person on my board of directors? If they're not, their opinion is like a random Yelp review. You might check it out, but it won't change your business strategy. The second technique is the 10-10-10 rule. Before you worry about making any judgments, ask yourself, will this matter in 10 minutes, in 10 months, in 10 years? Most of the things that keep us up at night don't pass the 10-minute test. That presentation you thought was terrible. 10 minutes later, everyone has forgotten about it and is thinking about lunch. That weird comment you made in the elevator, 10 months later, the person doesn't even remember you met. The third is my favorite, the 2-minute reset. When you find yourself caring too much about what someone else might think, stop and do this. Take 3 deep breaths, straighten your shoulders, and remember one thing you do really well. It could be making the perfect coffee, solving problems at work, or making your dog happy. This technique reprograms your brain to focus on what you control instead of what you don't. It's like switching your mind's channel from someone else's reality show to your own life documentary. And if you're enjoying these strategies, there's a lot more content like this here on the channel. Things that actually work in real life, not just pretty theory. The most powerful transformation that can happen in your life is when you stop being an approval seeker and become a value creator. Instead of asking, what will people think? You start asking, what value can I add? Think about the Americans we admire most. People like Oprah, Steve Jobs, or even your grandparents who immigrated here with a suitcase and a dream. They didn't get where they are by worrying about what everyone else thinks of them. They had a clear vision of what they wanted to build, and they kept going even when others doubted them. When you stop living for the audience and start living for your purpose, something magical happens. The right people start to gravitate toward you, not because you're trying to please them, but because you're being genuinely you. And the wrong people? They naturally back away, saving their energy for what really matters. The freedom you seek doesn't come from winning everyone's approval. That's impossible and exhausting. It comes from accepting that you can't control what other people think, but you can 100% control how you respond. Your sole responsibility is to be the most authentic and valuable version of yourself. Let others decide what to do with that. So, here's your challenge for the next 24 hours. Pick a situation where you would normally worry about what other people think, and instead focus on the value you can bring. It could be sharing your idea in a meeting, posting that beautiful photo you think is beautiful, or simply saying no when someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your priorities. Remember, you didn't come into this world to be a watered-down version of yourself. You came into this world to be exactly who you are,